From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you to this Friday's edition of For the People, our weekend edition that goes on radio stations all across the country, and we appreciate you listening and tuning in and participating in intelligent conversation, because that is something that we try to lend to the American public and to the airwaves. So if it is something that resonates with you, most likely the show is going to resonate with somebody else, and that is really, in essence, the only way that we're able to take this broadcast and do more things with it in the future. But if you like the show, you like what I'm doing, it again resonates with you, does it for you, and that's a good thing when a show can do something for you in a lot of different ways. So however captivating it might be, however provocative we just like to be ourselves here and For the People. We don't really try to dance to a lot of the other broadcasts out there where people copy everybody else, and there's no originality. So we're going to try to stay as true to our principles, our values, and not compromise any of them. And I know that many of our listeners feel the very, very same way. Now, as a talk show host, we have to sift through so many stories, and putting together a broadcast sometimes is not the easiest thing, because there's just so much news out there. And some of the big celebrity news, some of the shocking stories out there are celebrity suicides. And we just learned, just this past week, Kate Spade, she committed suicide. Now, according to the CDC, ladies and gentlemen, nearly 45,000 Americans ages 10 or older died by suicide in 2016. It is making it the 10th leading cause of death. Now, the study noted that suicide is rarely caused by a single factor. It has found more than half of cases involved in a person who did not have known mental health conditions, as they put it. But this is a major public health problem. But we know that prevention programs work and can be effective in reducing this tragedy. This is according to Dr. Ann Schnault, the CDC Principal Deputy Director. Now, there's a phone number. We could have very well listeners right now that are feeling very low. People high and low, ladies and gentlemen. High places and low places have done this. Young people do it. Old people do it. Taking one's life can be very shocking, obviously, to family members and friends. Now we learn today of another suicide. And this is a celebrity chef. I've seen him. You may have recognized his name. Celebrity chef and CNN personality Anthony Bourdain. According to this news report, he was found dead in his hotel room in France of an apparent suicide. Bourdain CNN colleague Brian Statler said on air that Bourdain had hanged himself. And folks, this is just, 3 days after celebrity designer Kate Spade took her life the same way in New York City, in an apartment that she was staying at. This is happening, unfortunately, way too often. Now, some of you might recall that are old enough when Elvis Presley took his life with drugs, etc. I heard on a morning show this morning, Chris Farley affected a lot of people, John Belushi. The names are just endless. It's perplexing for some people when they say to themselves, wait a second here. Wait a second. Yeah, I heard the story of the celebrity chef, Anthony Bourdain, as he really didn't have all that success in his life, and then he found success and became a chef and worked himself up by his bootstraps and really had some miracles happen in his life. How could he turn to suicide after finding success? How could the young lady, the young designer, Kate Spade, seemingly on cloud number 9, take her life? Well, you have to dive a little deeper. Look beyond the headlines, because they can be shocking. First of all, these two did not just take their lives. Oh, they did. They killed themselves, but there's something more going on. Kate apparently suffered from depression. Not a surprise. Depression. That's right. Clinical depression. Anxiety on top of that. Severe, debilitating anxiety. She was seeking help. Apparently, with all the help, with all the money, it just wasn't enough. According to friends and family, she was happy the day before, though she was talking to her sister. Very ominous conversation to make sure that she would attend her funeral. Interesting conversation to have. Now it all makes sense. Friends, we live in a very hurried world. Everybody's just in such a hurry. There's so many people trying to just make it and barely making it. And then when they do, it's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Folks, you know it's true. You may not be that person trying to, but so many do. Trying to live up to the expectations of whomever they're working for. The demands, if you will, of everyday life can be very taxing. And it drives a lot of people that have these predispositions, if you will. It worsens it. It worsens it. And if it's not treated and you don't step out of these pressure cookers, unfortunately, it leads to such behavior. And it's very disturbing when people suddenly learn that their celebrity friend or just somebody that they knew in the news or just heard about it, how shocking that somebody of that stature could possibly do it. Now, you got to keep in mind, yeah, these are celebrities, but how many non-celebrities commit suicide all the time? I had a friend that I knew was a little despondent when I was a young teenager, and he had a treehouse, and he didn't have many friends. And so I thought, let me just show myself as a friend. And I got busy over a summer, and I didn't see him for several months. And I came looking for him, and I knocked on the door, and his mother answered, and found out that Todd was no longer with us. I felt really bad that I wasn't around for a couple months. Now, I don't know if that would have stopped him from taking his own life, but I thought about it, that how it may have. I think it's very frustrating for family members, especially when a loved one commits suicide, because they want to know, what did I do wrong? Did I not talk to them? Did I not love them enough? Did I not sit with them? How did we miss this? It's just a rattling thing for people to wake up to, because these are the headlines that seem to prevail: suicide. And all the stats and all the numbers, they come out. And doctors say, because of the uptick of suicide, a lot has to do with these pressure cookers. But, digging yourself out of, a bad recession, a lot of people were affected. Lost homes, lost just about everything. And it tremendously hurt people. And you might be digging out of it yourself. Let me recommend a phone number if you've contemplated this before, or you know somebody that might, to have the number handy. And the reason I bring you this number is because the people that are at the other end of the phone have been right there, have been very close to doing it themselves. So they know how it feels. And that's why this phone number, 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. You can call it right now if you'd like. If you're feeling suicidal, contemplating these thoughts, 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-TALK. For parents, because young people do this, and a lot of young people have, because of bullying on Facebook and social media platforms, driving kids to the brink because of pressures. Some people can handle pressures more than others. Some people don't do as well. I was just talking to my sister over the weekend about how busy, the city can be. And, with any city, you're always going to get what I like to call riffraff. Not always the best of people. And she was saying how nice it might be to move out to Colorado one day. But, out of the country, out of the middle of nowhere, where the dirt road is, where that is, where the fishing hole, we can go fishing, go camping. You get the idea. That kind of place. Sounds relaxing to me. Life can become very demanding. You got people yelling at you, telling you got to have the numbers, you got to do this, you got to do that, it's the dance. And when it becomes just about the money, and it's just about the dollar, that's when things start really pinching people. Because, folks, as much as you think that money makes people happy, I have seen some of the richest people that I've known, celebrities, people that have money that are not celebrity but have money. It doesn't bring happiness, folks. It buys them things, toys, affords them the ability to be able to do things that a lot of people are not. But that in itself doesn't. You find with the money that you have other issues, other problems. Well, statistically, you know this to be true, because for people that are stone cold broke and win lotteries, they're broke within no time. It's true. They burn through it like blood money. Oh, referring to when somebody dies and leaves you money. And psychologists say that people go through that money so fast because they don't feel like they deserved it. But it's a reckless type of use, and sometimes people do that because they feel bad about it. People